Welcome to the big show.
He could go all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Smoking gun, love is dangerous. That's the way it is, that's the way it was. When you learned to run, it was in the mud, it was in the cold, now it's in your blood. I burn from the hell I've seen, but the devil can't hold me down. I've earned all the hell I'll be, standing on holy ground.
Hey, see the devil keep holding me down, but my people say Poppy. See, I come from the gutter, the mud, the dirt, but somehow I got tied to this rock. I was down on my luck, I ain't had me a book. Swear this life shit was rocky. Had to figure it out ASAP, cause see now I got kids, I be damn if they copy. Every store we walk in, I be shopping. If I see it, I like it, I copy. It was days when I didn't have shit, used to walk through the store putting shit in my pocket. Kicking thugs, you get caught, keep it silent. All them nights that I felt I was dropping. All them nights I was stuck in the line in them streets. If a nigga try me, but I pop it. Get to thinking about shit and get nauseous. All the folks 6 feet in them coffins. All them people that stuck in them cells that was having that shit, now they can't get it off them. All the OGs that used to be bosses, they all dead in jail. They either was selling that shit or was smoking that shit. Now the youth looking crazy as hell.
Whoops. Hey, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, man. I'm a little rusty, but welcome to the rundown. And I apologize, that was the wrong intro. The last show we were supposed to do was the extra point. So, but nonetheless, I'm trying to catch up on some of those highlight plays. That one was from Ethan Missamore of the Lima Warriors. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I had to fight through, the 4th of July bushel over at Walmart. That's why I'm running a little behind. But I got my groceries, and I'm ready to get this barbecue going come Friday. So other than that, I'm all good. It's great to have you back, buddy. I missed you.
It's been a long couple of weeks, man, and I'm glad to be back. And just so everybody knows, we did not plan.
Yeah, we're twinsing. We're twinsing today. Yeah, we're twinsies today.
We did not plan.
Listen, we're doubling down on what we said at the beginning of the season. We both said the Hawks were going to win. So, hey, what better time than to represent to preview the game of this week? And before we begin, I see all my fan favorites. All my fan favorites are in the building.
We've been asking Aaron for a shirt, something with FCP's logo on it for 2 seasons, and he said, "Wow, we're ugly." Hey, man.
I see my fan club. I see my BTA fan club is in the building. I appreciate you guys.
What is this public apology that you owe Jordan Johnson?
I have to get to that later. We'll get to that later. I'm gonna make him sweat a little bit longer, but we're gonna get to that later when we go through the recap of the games. They've been on my neck for the last 4 days because I made them wait.
Man,
so
I leave for a couple of weeks, man, and you just in all kinds of trouble. I have to.
Well, I'm always public enemy number one. You know what I'm saying? I can't win for lose. I can't win for lose with them. They don't like that I post other teams' highlights, but they still haven't given me a highlight film for them to post. Just throwing it out there. No shade, but just keeping it 100. I haven't got one from the Rams at all. Hey. I would have been posted already. But I love them.
All I can say is sorry about your luck.
I love them. You know what I'm saying? Coach Kevin.
I don't apologize. I won't apologize for that. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to apologize for it's not your fault they haven't sent you highlight film.
Listen, they tear me apart in the Michigan room, but I love them though. I love them. That means they're watching. I love them.
Fulton, we're gonna hold you to it. Raider gear, I wear a 3X, but I like a little baggy, so a 4X if you have them.
Yeah, little baggy, like a little room.
Chris is looking a little slim lately, so He might be a 4X too.
I've been eating my salads. It's summertime, so I've been trying to go green. Trying to get my salads in. Trying to get my salads in. Coach Kev, I know you got me the gear. Coach Kev said he was going to give the gear in person, so I'm already cool on that. Me and Coach Kev, we got that under control. But I would love to have a highlight film of any player from the Rams, just throwing it out there. I mean, anybody. Maybe a quarterback, maybe a lineman.
We have put some highlight clips of the Rams on a couple of the videos.
of
our top 5 or whatever.
I would love to represent the champions, but I don't get any intel. I'm on the outside looking in.
But we got a big show for you tonight, guys. We got recaps to talk about. We got games this weekend. We only got 2 games this weekend. One is the 2A championship, which sadly, Chris, I probably won't be able to make it to this one. I will be at the 3A. I'm going to do my best to be there. It's a little bit of a drive to Cincinnati from where I'm at. So I think I'll hold off until next season for that. But
so Rez Davis is trying to fat shame us. 4X is slim. 4X is slim. No fat shame us. No fat shaming here. It's what we identify as in 2025.
I'm fluffy, man. I'm fluffy. I'm fluffy. We're talking 2 games coming up this weekend. One being the 2A championship game between the Cincinnati Hawks and the Flag City Phantoms. And the other game between the Racine Raiders and the Fayette Commandos. And I can't remember. And I asked Jeff earlier, and he never got to respond to me. So I think it's Military Appreciation Night.
Yes, he did. He did. That's what he said. You didn't see it.
Don't shoot the
messenger.
He didn't see it,
but he responded.
Okay. I was going to put it on the graphic, but I didn't know for sure. I didn't want to mess it up. So, and we'll look at the 3A rankings and the Pick'em rankings. I'm catching up to you, Chris. You had a couple rough weeks. A couple rough weeks there.
Unfortunately. That's why we have to hit him with the preview, and we have to recap. We'll recap the games that happened this past weekend. That's what they've been chewing me out for, because I've been posting everything else but the recap of what happened this past weekend. So
give them a break, guys. I had to leave. I was
waiting on my guy. I said, you know what? I could do it by myself Sunday, but no, I want to wait for my guy, and we're going to do it on Thursday.
Appreciate the boss stepping in for me a couple times while I was out, but I am back, and it's not pretty. My setup's not pretty right now, but if I plug in too much stuff, the power will go out in the house. So
it's just an old house. We're gonna get it together. Hey, I told our technical analyst about the situation. He had a good laugh. About the computer situation.
I will tell you off air how old this house is. It's not pretty, dude. We found out not good. But anyways, check out this video.
Coach Kev sends me a video. Coach Kev, okay.
Man, I could try to get it up. If you send it to me, I could try to get it up. But let's check out this video from Tiggs Visuals. We'll be right.
Big X from the apartments where niggas start shit. Now the throw hands will be quick just to spark shit. Before we had beds, we had pallets on carpet. Stayed at the park, lit, trip and get parked quick. Ain't not for real, this straight off the dark shit. $5 pass, how you home after dark shit. Get you some money, your people gon' talk shit. Part of the game, it's the life of a boss, big. Really been lit since a G, you can go ask my mama and them. Remember thugging outside and that started good. See, my mama was having no way, selling dope to the judge. I put that in my starter kit. See, my pops was the boss, I acknowledged it. My papa was a pimp and he taught me shit. Like, don't never fall hard for a bitch that ain't giving you shit and ain't making your pockets still. Lost my mind and that shit had me empty. Moved in with my pops and he filled it with grit. Pops taught me to roast with his son in position. Wasn't listening, them sales was as cold as I vision. Got out, put my mind on the mission.
Thank you to Tiggs Visual and the Cincinnati Hawks for getting at us. And hey, just to bug the Rams a little more, I saw some of the Rams players in that video. So technically you got a highlight.
Listen, and that's what, hey, listen, you see the comments, that's what they were mad about, because they didn't understand that when I share, our posts, I share it to everything. You know what I mean? So I happened to share it to the Michigan, fan page, and of course they didn't like that at all. But hey, I share that stuff everywhere too. So, they probably do me bad in the Indiana in the Indiana page too when I send stuff and it doesn't say Bison. But it is what it is. Hey. I support all the teams.
That's the the perks of the job, I guess. We got to take the good with the bad. And Jordan, or wait,
Coach Kevin is flooding my inbox
we don't have no low lights. We don't have no low lights, man. It's all highlights on this show, buddy. It is all highlights on this show. Let's jump
piggyback on what you said though. The piggyback what you said on about Tiggs. Shameless plug for my man Tiggs. Tiggs Visuals will be in the building this weekend at the championship game. If you want some highlights, if you want your own personal highlights,
if you pay him money, he will get you some highlights. So make sure you're not being a cheap ass and pay the man some money. He does great work, and you'll be happy. Stop trying to get stuff for free. Give him a little cash, and he'll do you right there. But let's jump right into some recaps, Chris. It's been a couple weeks. We'll just jump right into this game. The Bills versus the Warhawks. The Warhawks came out and beat the Bills 22-6. Man, I did not expect this. The Warhawks are in the MDFL. They're like number one in their division over there in that league, and they're really coming together as a team. And man, I was surprised to see this score.
I mean, I was surprised to see it. I'm not gonna lie, but I've got some intel from what's been going on with the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Losing a lot of players, doing my man Mikey, pretty wrong. So they went up there a little very, very sure-handed. And even Mikey said he wasn't expecting the Warhawks to be so big.
Cody.
he said he didn't realize they were so big. But, we were able to see him at the MFOC this year. They ended up beating the Capital City Seahawks in that game. Had a great defense. We had spoke to Coach prior to the game. So it's not that I'm so much surprised that maybe the Warhawks won this game. It's just how bad, the loss is for the Bills. So, I mean, we took an L, definitely wanted the Bills to try to get the dub for the league-to-league matchup, but unfortunately, they came up on the short end of the stick with this one.
The Bills do get a break this week. The all PFA, the 3A division are off due to the 4th of July holiday, and so a much-needed break for all the teams, I'm sure. So this game,
Bossman said 26-6 was the score. We got it wrong when it's 26-6.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. 26-6 was the score.
I saw 22-6 when I was making the graphics for some reason. So this game, I wasn't sure if the Raiders were playing the Beavers or they're playing the Rockets. They're playing
this is a funny
St.
game
Regis for the
bro.
blind. We don't even know.
This is a funny game. The reason why this is a funny game is check this out. And I have authority to say this publicly. You know what I mean? So this is, I don't, the commissioner knows how I feel. I don't mess with the GDFL. We as a league don't mess with the GDFL. So the Raiders were supposed to play the Beavers. Okay, which was a part of last time I checked, Brian, the IFA. Okay. Other teams in the IFA have folded. Yeah, other teams in the IFA have folded. Things have been happening all over the place financially, all types of stuff. We didn't even know if this game was going to take place. But the GM called. Jeff said it was going to take place, said he was going to be there. They get there. Now, this is where it gets funny. Jeff Schick, who is the GM of the Raiders, says when they get off the bus, they have red uniforms on that say Raiders. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, they say not Raiders, Rockets. They say Rockets on.
Rockets.
Now you're supposed to be playing the Beavers, but then the people get off the bus and it says Rockets. So the game was played. They play in these Rocket uniforms. You see the score. That was the real score. Raiders end up putting out with 36 seconds left on the clock. Touchdown pass to take the lead and to win. Yeah, Rockets. So this is where it gets funny. So the next day, Sunday, I'm doing my scrolling. Everybody's doing their scrolling, checking out, everything. And I see a GDFL recap for the week. And it has Racine's picture up there. And it says Racine versus Rockets. And it puts the score. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, what?
What is going on, man?
What is good? Like, this is crazy. So basically what happened for people, put you some little behind the scenes. The Beavers, with their financial situations, decided to merge with the Rockets on Thursday. And as they pay homage, supposedly, to the Rockets team, unofficially, I heard there were some jersey issues, but they wanted to pay homage to the Rockets team. They wore their jerseys on Saturday for the Racing game.
Were those jerseys repossessed? Is that what you heard?
I just heard there wasn't enough. But all I know is I feel like this is a little sneaky way for the GDFL trying to play one of our teams. Like you could just hey, if you got the teams merge every day, you know what I'm saying? That happens all the time. But for you to not let that be known, for you to say, hey, we merged with a team, we're gonna be wearing these jerseys, blah blah blah, this and that. Hey, and also we're a part of the GDFL. Felt a little shady, little shadiness going on right there. Little shadiness going on.
Look, every team that's been in the IFA has been a little shady. From the Beavers to the Tornadoes that were in Tampa to whatever other teams that were the Chihuahuas or whatever in Mexico.
The Baltimore Lightning at one point.
All shady. So good riddance to that league. We don't need that kind of league around anyway.
Yeah, so that's how Charles got his hand in there. Got his hand in the.
And I'm not surprised. And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm not surprised that the GDFL has got that team because it kind of goes hand in hand with bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Next game.
Raiders win.
Raiders win. Raiders win. As Don Wadowitz would say, Raiders win. Let's talk about this 2A playoff game, man. It was the Phantoms versus the Lima Warriors. I'm sure everybody picked FCP to win, but deep down, Chris, I know you're the same way. We had our fingers crossed that Lima would pull out the upset because we love an upset here on the rundown just because of the drama it causes and it gives us something to talk about. And I seen some of the highlight video from Caleb Fultz, and the FCP players were kind of worried when it was 13-12 Lima at one point.
Hey, Aaron, I was ready. Hey, Aaron, I was ready to go, bro. But no, real talk though. Let Aaron. If I gotta keep it a buck, and I will. Lima scared the shit out of y'all, bro.
I saw.
Lima scared that was Aaron because Lima's defense was playing lights out in the first half. I would say all the way until the game got out of hand in the fourth quarter. But the first 3 quarters. For sure, Lima was making a game of it. The game would have got tied off of pick 6 if they didn't get called for a penalty for a crackback that Dakari had. The game would have got tied at 20-20 in the third quarter. And we probably would have headed into the fourth for that same score. You know what I'm saying? Instead of them still being down by 7. But Lima showed the fuck up, bro. Excuse my language, but they showed up.
All right. Aaron said it. We're going to have to get on his ass now. The refs scared us.
Aaron, you know what? Come on, Aaron. Listen, I will say this about the refs. Were there some questionable calls? Yes. I mean, that happens in every football game. But what they did do that I appreciated them, they let the guys play. It's a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? They let them play a little bit. It should be a little different feel. It should be more physical when it comes to a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't get no little petty calls. And they kept everybody in check. It wasn't no fighting. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? If it started to get out of hand, they shut it down, the whole 9 yards. So I commend them for that. It was a good play, but of course, they called some things for Lima. They called some things for SCP. Both of them, you know what I'm saying, didn't like things. You know what I'm saying? But that happens in football. But as far as them controlling the game and it being a good playoff atmosphere, and them, Aaron, you did get assaulted, but he threw the flag. He threw the flag though. He did. He grabbed you from behind and tossed you down, but he threw the flag.
So what's this comment that Ethan Missamore said and some of the music?
Okay, so there was a situation. There was a situation where The guy who runs the PA, he was playing music. It's legal for them to play music, right? It's legal for them to play music between snaps. You know what I'm saying? While they're in the huddle, they can play music, and when they get to the line of scrimmage, you got to stop. That's a college rule. You know what I mean? It happens at every single college, and we play by college rules. What happened was, I think homeboy may have, just my assumption, let the music go a little bit too long while they were at the line, while they were walking up to the line of scrimmage. Referee threw a flag. It was 3rd and forever. Not gonna lie, it was like 3rd and 30, 3rd and
38.
Yeah, any personal foul, is an automatic first down. So it got the Phantoms out of a bind that they were in because they would have had to punt the ball. You know what I'm saying? But also, again, let's go back to other plays. And that's what I had told Dakari when he jumped in my inbox. Let's go back to the 3rd and 35 play where you let Presswood run for a 95-yard touchdown because you didn't want to tackle this man. Let's go with that play. Or we can go with the like I said, we can go with Dakari's crackback block on the interception that would have tied the game up. At the end of the day, execution, like we have been said that whole entire time, execution was going to win this game. Their offense, Lima's offense, hand to God, could not execute to save their life. They got some big plays, were able to score some touchdowns, but they could not move the ball worth a lick, Brian. I'm not lying. Couldn't move the ball worth a penny. And FCP knew that.
I've seen some of the stats.
Yeah. FCP knew that.
Chris and I've been saying all season.
Yeah, if Lima's offense, this is no lie, Lima offense would have matched the same intensity that their defense was playing with, we might be talking about another winner. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because Lima's defense was playing lights out. The only time FCP scored on a drive was in the 4th quarter when they drove the length of the field. Other than that, two big plays that I just talked about. One was a bomb. It wasn't even a bomb. It was a short pass to the flats. He made a man miss. They caught him sleeping. They caught him sleeping, and they have enough men on the right side of the field. Dude breaks it for a touchdown. Then the 95-yard run was another touchdown where they missed like 3 tackles, and that's the highlight that they got up now. Dude, they missed like 3 tackles, could have had him down and had him punt the ball. So at the end of the day, you could have, if you did what you were supposed to do, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the referees because Lima was in the game. That's a fact. If anybody says they wasn't in the game in the 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, Lima was in the game. But when you leave your defense on the field all game long, they're going to get tired. And in that 4th quarter, that's when they started weighing down. FCP's line started weighing down on the defensive linemen. They started to get big chunks of run, short pass here, short pass there, bad tackling. Dudes was tired. And that's just what it came down to.
I mean, to be honest with you, the defense for Lima's been playing light. Other than a couple games, Chris, this season, Lima's defense has been top notch. Offense, and same with the FCP, their defense has been lights out. Offense on both teams have struggled, as we've seen the scores and we've seen we see the stats. But yeah, Lima's from last year to this year, big improvement. Big improvement, bro. They got a lot of young players, a new coaching staff. They got some great players on their team, and I think next year they're gonna do even better than this year. Unfortunately, this year wasn't their turn to get to that game, so now FCP is back in the championship game 2 years in a row. And I did post this up here from the PA guy from Lima, and he's right. He should have got a warning. Should have not just been a flag.
Yeah, should have been a warning. I'm not saying that didn't have something to do with it at all. I'm not saying or confirming or denying that. But what I'm saying is there were other parts of the game that if you do your job and execute, we're not even talking about this. You feel what I'm saying? We're not even having this discussion about that one circumstance. If Lima's offense moved the ball more consistently than they did, we're not sitting here talking about it because they would have put more points on the board.
Right. Yeah, regardless of the penalties, like Chris and I have said all season, don't leave it in the ref's hands. If you leave it in the ref's hands, that's what's going to happen. On to the next game. Let's see. Oh man,
Aaron, I wouldn't say he said it at halftime because I was up there and he never came up there. So I don't know who he talked to at halftime, but he didn't make that. He didn't make that known.
Just because the ref says he told him doesn't mean he did.
Yeah,
we know. So.
But before we move on to this game, I will say this to Lima: stick together, man. The team, the nucleus that you have now, stick together, build on it. You guys did something that hasn't been done in Lima in a long time. You hosted a playoff game. Don't jump ship. Loyalty is everything at this level. Stay with what you got and add some pieces, especially on offense. You got a great defense. Add a couple pieces there, but stick together. With the formula that you guys have, it is working. Coach Jones, I can't remember the other coach that came from Toledo. They're doing a great job with you guys. Karen is a great general manager. Stick together this offseason, okay? Do not try to jump ship. It's too much of that.
Grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, guys. And like Chris said, stay together, and you guys will go get better and better. And you're just a couple pieces away from having a great team. And you got a good young quarterback. You got some good receivers. You got a great defense. Keep it up. Keep building. Listen to your coaches. And okay, ready for the next game?
Yeah, we're ready. They've been waiting for this all week.
Oh, I know. The Rams are in there drooling over this, so they can.
Is there a Ram in the house? Is there a Ram in the house?
All Rams, no Ravens. That's. I'm sure there's no
Ravens. You know what? You're probably right, Brian, because I ain't seen a Raven yet. I ain't seen a Raven yet in the chat. Now I'm looking, and I do not see one. I do not see a Raven. And I have to say, this is what Jordan was talking about. It's my public apology. It's my public apology for falling off my own stoop. Because, I was the only one who backed MCR last year. And I still held that faith. But something was just, in my spirit that I just seen with the Ravens. But I guess I was wrong. I guess I needed to clean these glasses. Okay, I needed to clean these things off.
We both need to clean our glasses.
I need to clean these things off because I guess what I was seeing was that what is what they call fool's gold. Because yet again, them BTA boys, them Motor City Rams, with that number one defense, and not to mention, probably one of the best quarterbacks. And I played against this man. I don't know what I was thinking on that part either. One of the best quarterbacks in the nation. And I can stand on that. Okay? He's going viral right now with a behind-the-back Patrick Mahomes-esque.
I heard about that, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, I just sent it to your inbox. Coach Kevin just sent it to me. But okay. I have been reborn. I took my whooping. I took my whooping like a man. I can say that public. I took my whooping like a man. And I'm back on the ship. I got misguided. Things was looking a little shaky, and I should have stood firm. And knew that offense and everything was going to start to click along with that defense, and it just came to a whole fruition in this game. Putting up almost 40 points on the Ravens after the Ravens were walking through everything this season, and I mean they were walking through, not to take anything from them and coaching from them. I'm not discrediting what they have done and beat on Racine the way they did. But for this to happen, I didn't see. I could not foresee. If I would have been right, I would have probably said, "Oh yeah, the Rams might win by a little bit." But this is what we call BTA. I know a lot of guys, they get in them games and they be like, "Well, we won by 3, we won by 4." That's not BTA. This right here, this is what you call BTA. So my apologies to the Ram family, Miss Francis. Don't leave me out on the cookout. I apologize. You know, I'm man enough. I tell you all of this. If y'all never like what I say, me and Brian always say it all the time: score more. And what y'all do, you score more.
Score.
You prove me wrong, and all I can do is, is eat crow, eat the raven. That's the that's all I can do. So there it is. I know you guys been waiting for it. You know, make sure you record it, screenshot it, put it in the Michigan page. I know y'all gonna do it because I know how y'all get
Cut
down.
the reel and make clips out of it. Make Chris into a meme. I don't know. I mean, see what happens when I'm off for 2 weeks. Chris just gets in trouble.
I did. I should have stayed firm, Brian. I think I probably would have if you was here. You probably would have reminded me of some things. But I jumped on that hype train. I jumped on that hype train to Georgia.
We're both guilty of it this season. So
I got kicked off. I got kicked off. I went off that train ASAP now. I went off that train ASAP now. I'm gonna get back on the train. Back on the train that I was on, and that's the Rams.
I will say the Rams are with that win, the Rams have clinched a first round bye. We haven't thrown the seeds out the 1, 2, 3 yet, but they have clinched that first round bye going into the game against the Raiders. So if they hold off that game against the Raiders, not saying they aren't. So calm down, guys. Calm down before you start getting all hoppy in the chat. They will get that if they go 10-0. Obviously, they'll get that number 1 seed. So and they'll play the winner of the 4-5 game, which right now is we know the Bills are number 5. They're not going to move up from number 5.
No.
So, yeah, I'm trying to load this video. We'll play it in a second if it will load. It's almost done uploading. The behind the back Patrick Mahomes pass from Future.
Yeah, it was crazy. Miss Francis, I apologize. You know what I mean? It's nothing like having your elders mad at you. I apologize, Miss Francis. Okay. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. When I come down, don't say I can't have any wings. You know what I'm saying? Don't say I can't.
It's okay.
Have any wings.
I'm coming down for the game in Detroit, so I'll share my wings with you.
You know, don't keep me away from the wings. You know I like to eat. Don't do me that bad. Don't do me that bad.
All right, well, let's take a look at this behind the back pass, and we'll play this, and we'll be right back after.
It's a free play anyway. That's why I threw it because it's a free play. Easy, bro. Hey, my nigga said.
Hey.
Wow. That was definitely a crazy pass.
Bro, listen. Man. It's almost like, I ain't going to lie to you. The pass was crazy, right? Hands down crazy. What was even crazier was when my man got hit and he did the spin move and he still stayed on his feet. And if it wasn't for the Raven player going Superman in the air, he probably goes in for a touchdown. If he scores on that, bro, best play I've probably seen ever at this level. Not even gonna lie. It's up there with one of the best plays I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is up there in my top 5. I've never seen a behind the back pass ever. But if he scores on that play,
it was like,
bro, if he scores on that play, that's definitely number 1 in my book. It's almost like when a basketball player hit that crossover and make him fall, like you got to make the shot. You know what I'm saying? And if he scores that touchdown, bro, hands down, that would have been the number 1 play I've ever seen in my life, bro. Because it's too much greatness in that one clip you can just break down. First of all, how did Future
Right.
even see Buddy? Okay, let's start there.
And he stood there like he knew that like he was going to pass it straight to him. I would have thrown it all the other direction, probably trying to do that.
Right.
But I mean, damn, that
The ball even had a spiral on it though.
it was
Brian,
a perfect
like
spiral.
it wasn't even like it wasn't like he like flicked it. It's like he threw it to him. Like real talk, like right, like a dot right to him. He didn't have to like jump up high or anything. He threw it right in his bread basket, and Buddy was able to get busy. And then when he's getting busy, he's getting hit by 2 or 3 players and still stays on his feet. It's just too much greatness in that one clip, bro. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much greatness in that one clip, bro. That's why I said if he scores that, that's almost like back in the day when they
pandemonium.
Yeah, listen, if he scores that, that's one of them joints like when you make that, when you cross over Buddy and you make the shot, or if you dunk on somebody and like the fans rush the court, that's one of the Vince Carter's like, it's over. Like everybody go home.
Yeah.
Like ain't nothing else, ain't no more to see here. ain't no more to see here. But he just threw the ball behind his back and they scored a touchdown. Hey, get him out of here. And then there's another clip, Brian. I don't know if you're seeing it. And it was funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's an older gentleman. He's yelling at the Raven players, throw in the towel, throw in the damn towel. Hey, bro, I can't make this up. Shout out to She Recording. Shout out to She Recording for the clip. I know Tiggs was there, but shout out to She Recording for the clip, man. Also, check him out too if you need some highlights, man. Check out She, man. He's definitely one of the guys you should go to if you need something highlight real wise. But shout out to She for that amazing clip that's going viral right now everywhere. Shout out to Future for the pass. I tried to get Future on, respected him. He said he locked in. You know what I mean? You know, Brian, I always respect that. If a player tell me they locked in, I don't even push it because, you know, I respect that you respect the game enough to, you know, wait until a certain moment to get on the show. So he said for sure after the Racing game, we can get him on. But he's locked in right now. And they trying to go for that number 1 national ranking. Because in my eyes, if they beat Racing, which I'm on that train, you can't help but put them at number 1.
All I can say is they scored 38 points against the Ravens.
Yeah, like you have to put them at number 1 in the nation now. You have to. Like there's no more like hiding from it. Like they've been trying to, the rankings have been trying to hide from it all year. Even when they beat the Ravens in the championship, even when they won their national championship against the Austin Vipers, they still only been ranked in the top 5. Now they just beat the Ravens again to say, hey, this wasn't a fluke like the last time. And if they beat Racing, they got to be ranked number 1 on every.
You're already ranked number 1 nationally, but what ranking are you referring to?
Which ranking though?
Yeah, are you referring?
You know, it's like mad rank. Also, you know, it's like mad ranking system. Which one is they? Everyone I see them on, they either number 2 or they number 3. They are not number 1.
All right, on to the next game. Well, so this
not really a game.
Bison didn't have a game because of the team folding, so they got a 21-0 forfeit, and we used the Warlocks for the forfeit because they're part of the reason why the schedule got messed up. So they get a 21-0 win. They played next weekend. I can't remember who they played. I don't have the schedule pulled up. I only have one screen, Chris. I can't pull up all my stuff. So, and that's going to do it for our. That is our recap.
See if I can bring it up.
Might jump into some awards here. I know the 2A guys are probably waiting on us to get the awards announced.
The Bison will play July 12th. The Bison travel to Detroit to play the Ravens.
Hey, Ethan,
So we got two
it's
two
not
big games
or,
on the two big games on the
oh,
12th. Yeah, Bison traveled to Detroit against the Ravens, and then you got Racine traveling to the D as well to play the Motor City Rams.
So it's really not a predicament on Austin Limley or Ethan asked what happens if Racine wins? How's that work with the ranking? So Racine is still going to be they're not going to be number one.
Right.
We don't use head to head. We use point differential when it goes into the same record. So their record's not going to be the same as the Rams because the Rams don't have any losses. So that would be their first loss. They'd be 9-1. Raiders would be 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really it doesn't really do anything for the rankings for the PFA.
We just talking about the rankings nationally.
Yeah, the national rankings. I mean, the Rams would probably drop out of number one spot, obviously, if they lost to Racine, because Racine's not number one anymore. Racine's not going to be number one if they do win.
Right. So, now the Ravens.
You want to take a break?
Ravens are hoping. The Ravens are hoping that Racine wins that game because then that might bump them up to the number one seed because then they'll have a tie, and if Ravens win, they'll have a tied record with the Rams, and then we'll go to point differential.
And they've scored more points.
Right.
Yeah. If the Rams score 50 points on the Raiders, then it's going to obviously they're going to go 10-0, so it won't even matter. But
right.
But if the Raiders score, hypothetically, it probably won't happen before I say it out loud, Chris. It's not good. Most likely 99.9999999% won't happen. Raiders score more than 30 points on the Rams, then it might make a difference. But we won't know until week 10's over with because it's too close to tell for those top two seeds. Like I said, I only know the fifth.
We only go head to head. We only go head to head if point differential is tied. The first thing that comes today, if the records are tied, we go to point differential first. Then we go if point differential is tied, then we go head to head. So that's why we always say score more. Points matter. Okay, points matter.
So we'll show this right now. So since we're talking about it, this is what the standings look like right now because the Rams are undefeated and they're number one right now. But if they lose and the Ravens win, then we go to this point differential. You can't see my mouse. I'm moving the mouse like you guys can see my mouse. But the point differential is not too far from each other. So you bet me 20 push-ups a piece they don't. Man, I can't do 2 push-ups. I bet you 2 push-ups, Rose. Look, a month ago, before I moved from Florida to Michigan, I had a gym routine that probably was like 6 days a week, and I haven't been to the gym since, so I could probably only do 2 push-ups now.
Hey, Cerez is taking it back to above the rim, playing for bumps. Like,
but anyways, like I said, the only thing we know right now is the Michigan Bills are the 5th seed. They're probably not going to move up. So
the first,
really
second, and third teams, the first, second, and third teams get a bye. 4th seed will play the 5th seed, and then in the next round, the number one team will play the lowest seed.
Yep.
So that's how the playoffs.
So it really comes down to what the Bison and Raiders do coming in week 10. So enough of that. You want to take a break, Chris, or you want to jump right into the awards?
Yeah, let's take a break and have them sweat a little bit. We'll get back into the 2A awards here in a second. Wow, somebody just said the Bisons are a 2A team. That's crazy.
Oh, that's disrespectful. It's a little disrespectful, man.
The chat is getting chatty today.
All right, we'll be right back, and we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll jump right in. We'll come back and get some awards and talk about those before we start handing them out. So.
You watching the rundown.
All right.
Oh, Joe, what are you talking about? They had me thinking on this year and lied to all of us. I know what he's talking about.
I don't know. Oh, I think
All right, anyways.
I think they're still talking about the Bison. No, so I think I said it too fast, and I'm gonna reiterate what I was talking about with the playoffs. In the playoffs for 3A, first, second, and third team, okay, gets a bye. All right. First round, get a bye. Fourth place plays fifth place. Okay. Then when we move to the second round, all right, the number one seed, who's going to have a home game, is going to play the lowest seed available. So that might be the fourth seed, that might be the fifth seed. Whoever wins that game, basically. All right. Then basically the second seed is going to host the third seed. Those would be the semifinal games. And then the winner of those two games will go on to the championship. Okay.
And always the highest seeded team host.
Yeah, so that's all it is. It's really simple. We got 5 teams, so the first 3 get a break.
All right. The moment most of the 2A guys have been waiting for, and just so everybody knows, since there's a lot of Rams in the chat, 3A awards have not been decided yet because there's still 1 week of stats that will come in. So just FYI, you guys aren't being left out. It's just going to be another week or 2 before we decide we get all the figures in and stuff. So that being said, also we will have physical awards this year. Once we get all the 3A winners in, I'll have them ordered. They'll ship to me, and I'll get them out to everybody. It may not be a week. It may take a couple weeks to do that all, but you will get them soon. As soon as I get them, I will send them out to you. I'll contact each and one of you guys and get your address, and I'll ship them out to you. But there will be awards. So without further ado, Chris, you ready?
Let's jump into being trolled. Let's go. Oh, before we go, I got to give this one too. These are season awards, which means these awards are based on the stats
in the season, regular season,
for this regular season. Not anything done in the playoffs, not anything done in the preseason. We do just like the NFL. They don't count preseason stats and they don't count playoff stats. These are season awards. Okay. So I know some of you guys played more than 8 games in your season, but we're only counting the 8 games for the PFA.
And Maurice, Mo Money had mentioned 9. You know, he only played 4 games. Now that's another thing. We had to look at how many games a person had for the categories of stats. Now, Maurice, you tore it up in 4 games. If you would have had at least 6 games, you would have been a candidate for some of the awards. And hopefully next year you'll play from the beginning of the season and get those games. But we couldn't give an award to somebody that had 4 games or 3 games in a stat category or whatever to look at. But we're gonna get a troll. We're gonna have to give out a troll award.
That'll probably be like our rundownies. Those probably I think that's what I'm gonna call them. Our rundownies. We'll give like best troller.
What's the award show that the do for the Emmy, the Oscars that the movies that flopped? No, it's the other. It's the. All right, so kicking it off, the 2A awards presented by the Rundowns, powered by Trinity Trifecta, 2025 2A awards, starting with the 2A MVP. So this was a hard award. Look, from last year to this year, Chris and I have made mountains of progress in this award thing. So, 2A MVP was hard. It was a hard choice. It really was, because there was only 3 teams in 2A, and a lot of great players. But we had to give the 2A MVP to Tevin Redmond because he played both ways, offense and defense for Flag City. So he is the 2A most valuable player for 2025.
And that's not saying that there wasn't other guys that played both ways, but Tez did it at a high level. He was second in sacks when it came on defense, and not too far behind in tackles. And also he played offensively. He also was a return man as well. So Tev was a utility guy. Basically, he could play everywhere. So we had to give credit where credit was due. And like I said, there were other, like Brian said, there were other candidates, but we had to be fair as far as games played. You know what I mean? And Tev did it all season, and he wanted it, and he went for it. And congratulations.
If he's not, I haven't seen him in the chat, and I don't know if he ever watches the show. But if FCP is on, let him know that he won. I'm sure he'll see you guys post it later. But congratulations, Tevin Redmond, 2A most valuable player for 2025.
Yeah, Kev, he used to play for Sin City.
Next award is the 2A Defensive Player of the Year. This award it was strictly based on defensive stats, tackles, interceptions, sacks,
fumbles,
what else? Fumble recoveries, touchdowns, and by far, this went to Ethan Missamore of the Lima Warriors.
He had a hell of a year,
right there. His stats, and he's not only a hell of a player, but he's also a real good team leader, and he's a young player. So he definitely was a top candidate all season, leading in the stats. So it's a no-brainer to not give him this award.
Yeah, Ethan was tearing it up, man. And like I said, the sacks, I know if we counted the whole season, Redmond was ahead of him, but just in the 8 games, he had 11. You feel me? And we could count more for him. He would have more. If we counted more games for him, he would have more sacks. But
this
he was out there
season stuff.
Yeah, he was out there dogging it, man. He was out there. He made a name for himself. He set a goal. He told me at the beginning of the season that he wanted to be Defensive Player of the Year, and he went out there and put the numbers up to prove that he was the best defensive player that was out there. So kudos to Ethan, man. And this is what I mean by showing that Lima is going in the right direction with this award. So yeah, kudos to him, man.
This is one the same kind of with the Defensive Player of the Year. You win that as a defensive player, you're going to win that as a linebacker because he's a linebacker. He plays linebacker. So again, Ethan Missamore, the 2A linebacker of the year, goes to him. Again, those are just a season stats. I lost Chris. Dang it, Chris, I lost you. We'll see if Chris gets back. Come on, Chris, jump back on. All right, we're going to see if Chris comes back on, but yeah, definitely. Like I said, it is a lot easier with stats coming in to try to figure out who gets these awards, but it is not an easy job for me and Chris to decide. But we enjoy giving these awards out, and we're trying to make it better for the players than we each year. So congratulations to Ethan on those 2 awards.
I see D Smooth in the building. What's going on? D Smooth, National Players Association. You need to look at these for some of the rankings. I'm gonna make sure you get them all too, Smooth.
2A Offensive Player of the Year. We looked at these stats for the offensive players, running backs, receivers, and we had to figure out who was the top dog in this category, and we are giving this to Damon Connerton Yates of Lima. Young quarterback, as you see. 2A, he had 869 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he had a 250 yards rushing too. So, I mean, out of all the offensive players, he was the made most sense to give it to, I think.
I mean, his numbers show. Like I said, I wish Mo, would have played more games. He only, he only had a couple under his belt. His stats definitely would have rivaled if he played the whole season. Same thing with CJ Talley. I guarantee his numbers would rally as well. You know what I'm saying? If he played the whole season, but Yates played the whole season. He was able to lead Lima to 5 wins this season and their first playoff hosting game. So, man, again, Lima's building in the right direction. So the numbers don't lie. He led all quarterbacks with 869 yards, and he also led all quarterbacks in rushing with 249. So, you can't help but give credit when credit is due, and that's why we go by stats.
So me and Chris have decided to add a couple extra awards for each 2A team, and we'll probably do it for the 3A teams too. We call it the Rundown 12th Man Award. So we're going to do one for each 2A team, and like I said, each 3A team. But the Lima 12th Man Award, the Rundown 12th Man Award for Lima goes to Dakari Adams. He came over from FCP before the roster lock, I think, and he's also a big defensive key for Lima. Sorry about the picture. That's all I had to post on there was him facing away from the camera. But I mean, he was right up there with linebacker of the year and stuff like that. So I felt like he was the best candidate for the 12th Man Awards. One of those players that is always there and helps and just proves it on the field. So congratulations to Kari, 12th Man Award.
Very well deserved.
Chris, this was a tough one. You want to talk about this one?
Is this the FCPs?
This is the GM of the year.
Oh, the GM of the year.
We have two.
Oh yeah, this was a definite tough one right here because we had two people in mind and we were trying to split hairs about which one. You try to look at the pros and cons of both candidates, but at the end of the day, we couldn't really split the hairs. They both did great jobs this season with their teams. They, everything that we asked them for, even as a front office, they were able to, get to us as fast as possible and do their due diligence. And we had no problems from these individuals. So we decided to make it co-GMs because we wanted to give both of them the flowers. And first GM of the year is going to go to Karen of the Lima Warriors. And also the other co-GM is going to go to Amanda of the Cincinnati Hawks. So congratulations, ladies. It's good to see ladies at this level with the knowledge of football and being on the teams as well, trying to get these men to follow rules and get stuff turned in on time. You guys did an excellent job this year, and we want to congratulate you guys, for your success and, for your work. We want to be able to give you guys an award.
I will tell you, Amanda and Karen are the only two GMs that had all their players registered that I didn't have to chase down. Thank you so much for making my job easier, ladies. I appreciate it. Well, very well deserved. Co-GMs of the year. So we're going to go to the Hawks 12th Man Award from the rundown. I looked at the players from the Hawks, Chris, and looked at the stats, looked at the offensive stats, looked at special team stats, but I really found one that stuck out for the defensive players, and that is Trey Brooks.
Okay.
He had 10 sacks, 24 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 pass deflections. Again, another player that was up there high in the defensive, probably top 5. So great choice for the 12th Man Award. So congratulations, Trey Brooks, if you're watching.
Yeah, he definitely was a stat stuffer this year. Between him, like I said, between him, Ethan, and Redmond, it was a battle for sacks leader. Like every week, it was either one of the three. So definitely kudos for him for leading his team this year, having a great season, and ended up in the championship. So 12th man in the 12th man ain't bad.
Well, coach of the year, we had 3 great coaches. We had, the Chris Jones from Lima. We had I can't think of the coach from the FCP. Dang it! Any other time I know his name, I apologize. And then we also had Coach Los of the Hawks. Obviously, the Hawks are in the championship game, and they had the best record. Sort of a new franchise, sort of not a new franchise, but I consider a new franchise because I haven't heard the name before. So, to me, it's a new franchise and first year team in the PFA to the championship game. So I think the obvious choice for coach of the year was Coach Carlos from the Cincinnati Hawks. Congratulations, Coach Los. You get the 2A. I see him in the chat somewhere in here. So he's the 2A coach of the year.
Man. Very much well deserved. Coach Demir, I'm sorry, from FCP. There we go.
Demir, yeah. Demir. Sorry.
But yeah, I forgot. Well deserved from Coach Carlos coming back to coaching. He's been out for a little while, but not away from the game too much. And he led his team to the championship, revamping the Hawks, trying to bring them back to prominence, and well deserved. We always have some technical issues with him sometimes, but he's gotten better over the course of the season since we've been working with him, teaching him some things. But Coach Los is a great guy. I think he's really a good player coach. I think players understand him and they know what he wants from them and what they expect as well. And well deserved Coach Carlos for Coach of the Year in 2A. No doubt about it.
2A running back of the year. Again, we looked at the stats for the running backs, and we had to go with the one that had the most yardage and not necessarily the most touchdowns, because I will be up front, there wasn't a lot of rushing touchdowns in the 2A division for the PFA. There was more passing and than there was rushing touchdowns. So, but looking at it overall, Manolo Caldwell from the Hawks is the running back of the year for 2A.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Buddy. Buddy was toting that thing and doing his and doing his 1-2 out there. Led the league in yards. As you can see, he definitely was a candidate up for Offensive Player of the Year. Not gonna lie, it really was between him and the Lima QB. But he definitely was somebody that we had our eye on and had our we knew about him. He was making noise, and he made some of his biggest noise in some of the toughest games they played in. And that's what you want to do. You want your players to rise to the occasion. And this is not saying I want to give a shout out to Presswood from FCP. Wish he would have had, after seeing him play this past weekend, wish he would have had some more stats to put him up. But he's definitely a running back from FCP to have to deal with in the coming future as well. So want to give him a shout out too. We definitely thought about him, but again, you got to go with who's number one when it comes to yards, and this man did the job.
2A franchise of the year. We look at this award as a team as a whole, how they are on the field, how they done overall. Just a lot of, we try to make it, look at it as a whole and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's 3 teams in the 2A, so not a lot of teams to look at, but nonetheless, we still look at the same, and we had to go with the team that showed that how they did on this year in the season. So, again, franchise of the year for 2A Cincinnati Hawks. Congratulations, you guys did a great job. You guys are in the championship game. Great season overall. So
Hey, Cincinnati Hawks, definitely franchise of the year. You got the GM, you got the coach of the year. And that says a lot about your front office. And as a team, you represented yourself very well, very polished all year long. And like again, revamped a once great Titan, if I could say that, from years ago. So glad to have them back in the fold. Can't wait to see how the team progresses over the next years and build off the success of this year being basically a first year team again and in the championship and holding down a number one seed. So shout out to the Cincinnati Hawks for, doing the front office work as well as recruiting, graphics, and promotion as well. So shout out to the franchise of the year for that.
2A offensive lineman of the year. So I must say that I repeated this several times to all the teams in 2A and 3A that we could track pancakes and stuff for the offensive lineman this year. Fortunately, I guess, only one team did that for me. So obviously I can't pick offensive linemen from any other teams that didn't track those stats. So 2A offensive lineman of the year, Ben Davis of the Cincinnati Hawks. He had 19 pancakes and only gave up 5 sacks. And really, thank you, Coach Lois, for taking the time to track those pancakes. I know it's not an easy task, but Coach Lois was the only one that got those pancake stats to me. So,
and I appreciate that, Brian, as the offensive lineman, because offensive linemen matter. And I wanted to have an offensive lineman award to show the big guys up front some love, because they are the quiet assassins that don't get a lot of credit. So this should tell you guys moving into next year. I know Ethan was tracking his own pancakes from FCP before he ended up getting injured. He was doing his due diligence too. He was pretty high as well. But keep track of your pancakes, man. Make your owners keep track of what you guys are doing as well. You guys matter. Okay, you matter. All right. So shout out to Ben Davis for holding it down. We appreciate what you do up front. That's why you also had the running back of the year, because Ben was out there putting people in the dirt. Okay. So
next
yeah,
one,
shout out to him.
2A return of the year. This was a hard one because the stats, like I said, stats are kind of low in this category, Chris, for 2A. So we had to go with who had the most as a returner. Trey Reap of the Cincinnati Hawks, 2A returner of the year.
Listen, I know Dre's going to be happy about this because he's getting old in the tooth, not able to be as listen, Dre's been playing for a while, and he's starting to get that dad bod going, and for him to be able to contribute to his team in this way, I know he's proud about, and I know he's happy about. So kudos to him on winning the Returner of the Year award, putting up the most yards, and that's what it's about. It's about stats, and that's what we base these awards off of. So can't say nothing about three-way Dre, as they call him.
So again, kicker of the year. This is another one that I almost felt like. I mean, I want to give the kicker some love because we always say, "Bring a kicker, bring a kicker,
bring a kicker."
And I almost felt like we probably shouldn't even had this award because there wasn't a whole lot of kickers.
It wasn't, but we're gonna give him his just due because he was a kicker and he was the punter for this team, and his percentages were good on field goals made, as well as he hit some long distance ones as well. He was 1 or 2 from depth. So can't say enough about this young man. So Bradley, kudos to you, man. We're gonna give you your flowers. Even if nobody else in this league has a kicker and it was just you, it doesn't matter. They should have got one. Okay. So, Cullen, congratulations to you on being kicker of the year in 2A. Kicks
now,
matter,
2A wide receiver of the year. Again, we looked at the stats Had to go with the one that had the highest reception yards. Not necessarily a lot of the highest touchdowns, but we went with what we had. So, and no knock to the players that are winning these awards. We're just the stats were, we're not seeing 1,000 yards passing, so, or receiving, but still. Shandon Morris, 13 receptions for 307 yards. It should be 4 touchdowns. My fault. I'm sorry. I was like a last-minute addition there, trying to fix it. But congratulations, Shandon Morris from the Flag City Phantoms. You're a wide receiver of the year.
And again, there was a lot of receivers.
FCP thought we were leaving. I know FCP thought we were leaving them out because we have. Yeah, because we haven't had any. I was trying to do it in order, guys. Trying to do it in order.
But no, like you said, a lot of receivers this year. Quarterbacks got the ball around to a lot of receivers, not really focusing on one. So, I mean, his numbers were the highest that we had at wide receiver for yards, and that's what we had to go with. There might be other wide receivers that probably have more touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So be that, but his yards was the most yards by a receiver from the stats that we collected from your franchises. Okay. From your franchises. Remember that.
And remember, those are just regular season stats. We look at the season or the stats overall from the beginning of the preseason that the teams that had games, the stats would be higher. But that's not how we track the awards, because the 12th man award for FCP. Chris and I thought about this.
Yeah, this was a good one. Chris. I feel like this was a good one because there was a lot of good defensive players on FCP this year. A lot of good players, defensive players. And I know everybody wants to go with, Tev and Drizzy, but I wanted to spotlight somebody who actually had a great, great season and did a lot for his team that probably doesn't get a lot of recognition. They know about him, but a lot of other teams don't. And for the 12th man of the year, had to give it to Fashawn. I think his last name is Brown, right? Yes.
Yeah, Fashawn Brown.
Had to give it to Fashawn Brown. He's
also the owner of said he had 32 tackles, was top 5 in tackles. Troy Johnson had the most yards. Defensive back of the year. I forgot who this was. Did I have it written down? Oh, yeah.
This was another thing. A lot of when we looked at the stats, I had to cut you off, Brian, but when we looked at the stats, it wasn't a lot of defensive backs. It was a lot of safeties and free safeties that had a lot of high numbers. It really wasn't a lot of DBs that had a lot of high numbers. And that's a credit to you being a lockdown corner. The ball's not going to come your way a lot. You're not going to have a lot of interceptions and things of that nature. The only one that had a lot of tackles and we could fill the stat sheet with that ended up being the man at the top of the hour is none other than Drizzy Pope from Flag City Phantoms. So shout out to Drizzy for being the defensive back of the year. 23 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 7 deflections, and he had 1 interception.
Defensive end of the year.
I know who this is. Now, with this award, he had to receive it. The man was a monster on defense. The man was putting in work, even though he's a utility guy. He was putting in work as a defensive end and getting to the quarterback quicker than anybody. He was setting the edge better than any defensive end I saw all season when it came to defensive ends, and that's none other than Tevin Rednick.
Like Chris said, he won the MVP. It was hard not to give him this because he was really the best at this position, for stats total. So congratulations, Tevin, on another award. Safety of the year.
Listen, you got to go back to that again. FCP's defense, they were putting up numbers, fellas. And this is no lie. You can go on the website and see it for yourself. This young man, I've actually got to know his name a little bit better because of the work he was putting in. Even in this last playoff game that the stats didn't count, he still made an impact and had 2 interceptions in this past weekend's game. And that goes to Mr. Covington from Flag City Phantoms. Will be the safety of the year. Jay Covington.
All of them. Yeah, that is all the awards. I congratulate to all the winners. Congratulations to all the winners. And if you feel like you've been left out or should have won, I apologize. But we try to look at it across the board. Just come back and do better next year, I guess. I don't know what else to say, but it's not. We hope you guys appreciate the awards. We do it because we want to do it, and we try to, like I said earlier, we try to spotlight the players that we feel that are doing great on the field. Not to say not everybody is, but those are the ones that we looked at and see the stats for. So
again, all these stats are on the website, fellas. So it's not like we gatekeeping the stats like y'all can't see them. All these stats are on the website. So if you got a gripe, again, these are.
I'm not saying that all the best wide receivers are in 2A are on the Hawks. That's just what the stats show, man. Like, look at the website. Click on to sort it, to click the highest to lowest, and you'll understand what we see. So,
and again, we are going off what your franchise has turned into us. So if you want to gripe with anybody, gripe with the people that you play for. Because we don't make the news, we just report it. You understand what I'm saying?
I enter exactly what I get from the franchises.
Aaron said no tight end. Aaron said no tight end of the year.
I forgot about that one, man. That's partly my fault because I didn't even think about it. I just put it in with the receivers. But we can come up with one and announce it next week or something.
Because I think we're missing D lineman, which is D tackle, and I guess tight end. So yeah, so 2 of them.
Okay.
So I say 2 of them. But yeah, again,
all these stats are right. This is not a popularity contest. Half you guys I haven't met in person, so I don't treat it as a popularity contest. I look at the stats, and that's why I fought so hard to get the website to track the stats to make sure we didn't have it wasn't a pain in the ass to be able to track the stats like last year when I did it. So this year with the website's been a lot more easier to do, and what you see is what you get, right, Chris?
It is.
I mean,
I can't help but stress it anymore. If you feel slighted, hey, then that means you need to do some more work. You got to get your stats up. Stats do matter. If you feel like you wasn't getting the ball enough, talk to your quarterback. Tell him I'm open. Run a better route. If you feel like you should have won Defensive Player of the Year or anything like that, hey, get some more tackles. Run harder. Work out faster. There's only so much me and Brian can do. You know what I mean? We're going to be fair, and the fairest thing we can do is go off of stats. That's fair to everybody, no matter what team you play for, no matter if you're number 1, number 2, number 3. In this case, we're going to go off the stats. Pure, plain and simple. MVP went to Redmond.
Heavens.
Mr. Tev got MVP. The car, you got 12th man of the year for Lima.
Chris will probably post those again.
Yeah, I'll probably
if
post
you want
the
graphics.
Bit. Brian, I just sent you a video. If you can try to download it. Kevin, is the video of the man screaming that I told you about. We can probably end. We'll probably end the show on that one. But yeah, guys, this is what it is. I congratulate all the players that played in the 2A. I congratulate all the winners. You guys did a great, fantastic job this year of representing yourselves and your teams very well. Can't wait till next season. A lot more 2A teams are in the works of coming, so it's going to get, things going to get a little thick. We definitely got some teams coming from Michigan. They're going to be joining the 2A when the doors are back open. and it's just not going to be Ohio team. So things are going to get pretty thick up in there in the 2A division, and that's good. That means we're growing as a league, and we thank the ones that are here now for building that bridge so that we can have one of the best 2A divisions, possibly in the nation. 3A, we killing them with that, but we want to be best at both. We want to have the best 2A teams as well. So continue to be loyal.
And remember, for the 3A awards, those will come out. We'll start announcing those, and probably next week or the week after. Got to wait for the final stats to come in.
We'll probably do it just like we'll do it just like we're doing now, the week before the championship game, because we'll have all the final stats in from the regular season. Dakari Ethan Misselmore won Defensive Player of the Year. We'll have all the stats in for the regular season games by then, all 10 games. And that's the other thing too. We might be moving to a 10-game season next year for a 2A. You never know. So it is what it is. Brian, we got 2 games this weekend. We got Racine going up against the Fayetteville Commandos in their military appreciation game they throw every year, have fireworks and everything for the community. We're definitely going, I'm going for Racine. I know you're going for Racine as well. But this is definitely going to be a great game. Definitely going to be a good shootout. Fayetteville is going to come ready to play. They're going to travel well. I've heard nothing but great things about the Fayetteville Commandos. I'm not sure what their record is now, but I know they've definitely been doing their due diligence this year, and it's going to be another big game for Racine to host. And hopefully they can come out with the victory. I got them winning by 7. The game's been pretty tight with the new quarterback change.
This is not a league game. This is more of an exhibition game. So it does not count towards a league standing. So just everybody hear that.
Or stats.
Or
stats.
Yeah.
Everybody calm down. But it's something that the Racine
Raiders
do every year.
Stats will be counted for the game. This won't count towards season awards.
Yeah.
And if you want to see all your stats from preseason until now, you just click on the button that says show all games on the website, and you'll see the total for everything you played. Just in case you want to see that.
Well, yeah, all right, so we'll have that game, and then I myself will be at the 2A championship. The Boss Man's flying in from Florida. Dave Ladden will be there. I think Joe Long will be there. Sarah will be there as well. So the front office will be in attendance for the 2A Midwest National Championship game that's going to be held in Cincinnati, Ohio at Walnut Hills High School. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. The live stream for the rundown will kick off right around 6:30. We're going to have some interviews before the game, try to talk to some of the players, talk to the commissioner before the game starts. And then we're going to see who is going to come out on top. I've said Hawks all season. That's why I chose to wear the shirt today and double down on what I said. And I still do believe that, even though this is going to be a hell of a matchup against, Black Brady and CJ Talley going head-to-head at the QB position, and then both defenses going head-to-head back as well. In the regular season, the Hawks were able to get the victory early in the season. Hawks were able to pull out the victory against FCP. So, FCP is the underdog coming into this, even though, Walnut Hills High School, even though
I forgot that it changed.
Yeah, Walnut Hills High School is where the game is going to be at. Even though this is FCP's second year being in the championship. They were in the championship last year. Unfortunately, they took a tough loss to the Wolfpack, and CJ Talley was the quarterback at that point in time. And so this is the second time they will see CJ Talley across the line yet again. Will their defense be able to hold true and stand up with Redmond, Drizzy, Covington, and company, or will CJ Talley and the running backs and Big Davis and Benjamin Connors be too much for them offensively? And then again, on the defensive side, I don't want to leave out any defensive players for the Hawks. They too have a great defense. Almost tried to pull an upset against MCR 2 weeks ago. But had a great showing against the Motor City Rams. And I know that they're looking to try to solidify themselves as one of the elite programs at this level, and a championship would do that for them. So it's going to be a great game. Like I said, I still double down on what I said at the beginning of the season. Still have the Hawks winning. FCP burned me last year, so I got a bad taste in my mouth about that still.
Ooh. All right, so real quick, let's take a quick look at this video that you sent me from the guy saying throw in the towel to the Ravens. All right, I'm not sure why there's no sound, but
hey, he kept saying throw in the towel.
It's still funny watching him say it because you can read his lips, but
he kept telling him to throw in the towel.
You know I want to say that we had. Hang on a second. Let me. Oh, Rookie of the Year. We forgot about Rookie of the Year.
There it is.
It was a separate. I had to do it separately, and I totally forgot. 2A Rookie of the Year goes to Caleb Fultz. Obviously, I'll let the cat out of the bag a little too soon on that one, but I mean, this young man does content. I mean, he's everywhere for being a first-year player for Pro Advancement. I'm not sure if he's in the chat or if anybody's left from FCP's in the chat, but let Caleb know that he got Rookie of the Year for 2A. And sorry, we didn't need to forget. I wasn't part of the other main slide, so I kind of spaced it a little bit. But like I said, I've been off for 2 weeks. Still trying to get back into the groove of my magic back here. So, anyways, 2A Rookie of the Year goes to Caleb Fultz. Keep up the good work. Keep that content coming. He has 43 or 34,000 followers.
Crazy.
Something on his. And also, let us know who rookies are. I don't know everybody that's a rookie. All I know is that Caleb was a rookie because I think I might have talked to him once or twice this season in chat or something. But I don't know as far as who else is rookies. So if you got rookies on your team, when you send in your roster, put an asterisk next to them or something so we know.
Yeah, that would help.
For next year.
Definitely would help.
That would help, yeah, for next year. Otherwise, I can't. I don't know. I can't read.
And when we say rookie, we don't mean like new to your team. We mean new to Pro Advancement football, like never played before. Rookie. Right. That's what we mean. So yeah, next year, make sure you put that on there. But as always, it's been a pleasure. It's my man, puppet master himself, Mr. Brian Mitchum, Director of Media and Development. I'm Chris Cousins, Director of Podcast for the PFA. See you at the 2A Championship game this weekend. Again, 7 p.m. on the Facebook page live. Be there or be square. Until then, you know what to do.
Best of luck to.
Yeah, go ahead, boss.
Best of luck to both those teams, FCP and Cincinnati Hawks. Good luck. Have a great game, and I'll be there in spirit with you guys. So keep my man Chris on his toes. And get some shout outs for us, man. Like tell Chris you want to shout out the rundown. We'll put you on a commercial like Derek Newsom from the Rams. So all right, as always, like Chris said, catch us if you can.
Later.